Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I have the channel history tag. This tag was created by Ben Sanders and I was tagged by Dane of Dane Reads. Firstly, we have tell us about your very first video and where you were in life when you filmed it. My very first video on Booktube is the classics book tag. I'd been watching Booktube for about 5 years at the time. This was 2015 and I'd wanted to create a Booktube channel for an incredibly long amount of time. I completely adored the platform. However, I wouldn't do it because I thought that I was too fat to Booktube and that I just didn't have the necessary knowledge to talk about books. However, earlier that year, I had released Our Doris and I thought, well, I have the confidence to release a book on my own. I'm pretty sure that I can start making videos on the internet. I didn't speak to anybody. I uploaded that video and just never said anything. I didn't share it anywhere. I didn't tell anyone about it. Back then, I was still at the Congleton shop, so I would record my videos every Friday, upload them every Friday, and all I used was Windows Movie Maker to edit them. My first video was shot on an iPhone. Then I started using my sister's camera, and then we've gone back to the iPhone because it turns out it has a better camera now than my sister did. My first year on Booktube is kind of marred for me by a lot of things, so I like to actually, considering I didn't speak to anybody and all of that fun stuff, I like to think that I actually didn't really properly start booktubing until late 2016. Then we have 2. Tell us about your most viewed video and what went into creating it. I've just had a look and that was actually my review of The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. I can't remember when I recorded it, but I do know that it was when my laptop was broken and I'd started recording things in my car. And it is actually what surprises me about Booktube and YouTube in general is that I was not gaining any sort of subscribers, anything like that. I was just here chatting about books. I was so sure that you had to have all this really nice equipment, all this great lighting, edit your videos really well, and I start releasing unedited videos in my line and suddenly people arrive. It's like, really? You just wanted me to be incredibly sarcastic and mean in video? Like, there's a whole thing about being yourself. Nothing went into creating that video, nothing at all. I sat in my car and ranted for, I don't know what, 12 minutes? No, 15 bloody minutes. I ranted about The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor because I don't like that book. I haven't read the sequels. I'm sure that other people really enjoy her works and good on them, but I'm not one of those people. Yeah, bone idleness went into that video, no else. 3, tell us about a video that you were most excited about when you finished it. For me, that is my writing vlog from last year. I feel as though I edited that really well. It was a complete variation on theme for me. I'd never recorded or edited something like that before. It was my first vlog. It was probably the only time vlogging's ever gone well for me, so it's that one. 4. Now this is the question that's a bit like when you get to your 6th week on Strictly Come Dancing and suddenly you start talking about dead family members and that shit. So here we have, and I'm reading it off the laptop because there's no other way I'm going to remember this. Tell us about a point in your booktubing/authortubing career that was particularly challenging either creatively or personally. (2015). So, oh God, I've talked about this much and more before. So, I started my channel in August 2015. And then I regularly uploaded each Friday, and then I uploaded a September TBR that was incredibly ambitious, and I didn't know how I was going to get through all the books, and I joked about losing my job. Don't joke about that shit, because I ended up technically losing my job. I was made redundant. Now, what had happened was they did a scoring-based system, which is probably completely wrong when it comes to employment law, I don't know, but there was a scoring system and I didn't get enough scores to stay where I was, and they said, you can go to this other shop. There is a job opportunity there. There's no other choice really. Basically, if I didn't take the opportunity at the shop where I am now, then I wouldn't make any money when they eventually made me redundant. I was like, fine, I will go, I will do my 4 weeks, and then I will leave. And as I say, then everybody else who was at the shop where I was ended up being made redundant. About a fortnight later, I fell into an incredibly deep sadness that I've talked about. And this also happened to be at the same time as I was trying to get a second Doris book done. I then found out that my grandmother had cancer, and so I went into 2016 at probably the lowest point in my life. I call it the period of unfathomable sadness, which I've said other people would call a breakdown. So if you go back into the archives, I actually gave up on writing, and I didn't write for maybe 3 months. I gave up on YouTube for a bit as well, and I didn't really do anything apart from put on weight. So that was not fun at all. And then eventually we got here. 5. Tell us about a moment in your booktubing, authortubing career that was a high point for you or something you're particularly proud of. A high point for me has been seeing people review my books through Booktube and they didn't hate them. Or if they did hate them, they just didn't tell me. And I'm okay with that. But yeah, it was seeing a lot of people share my books with other people. It was incredibly supportive. I'm thankful for it, and it's just very kind. And we need a bit of kindness in this day and age. 6. Tell us about an aspect of being a content creator you had to try really hard to get good at or are still struggling with. Do we need to go into all of them? Blooming heck. So, I feel like I could really work on editing these videos better than I do. I've started putting lamps up just because it's winter and I couldn't really see my face in one of the videos I edited. Commenting, replying to people, commenting on other creators' videos, actually creating original content or coming up with ideas for original content, or hoping you found some original content to make only to find out some bugger did it 5 months ago. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Trying to create a creator-life balance. 7. Tell us a story that sticks out in your mind that happened as a result of you being part of Booktube/Authortube. So we're going back to 2016 again, and late in the year of 2016, I read The Trouble with Goats and Sheep. If you watched my videos earlier this year, you will know that I ended up crowning that my favourite book of 4 years on Booktube. But after my first review of that, Joanna Cannon found it, sent me a message to thank me for my kind words, and since that review, I have received ARCs of both of her books, and whilst it might not seem like the most rewarding thing to other people to receive free advanced copies of an author's work when it's as a sign of gratitude for a review of a book that I really loved, that was probably it. That was probably the story that is a result of Booktube. 8. The prompts in this get a bit longer. Alright, you just spent however long talking about yourself. You're awesome, we know. It's why we watch your content. Tell us about someone else in the Booktube AuthorTube community that you think deserves more attention than they get at the moment. And that is Sophie of Redhead Reading. Sophie is one of the first booktubers on this platform that ever started speaking to me, supporting me, communicating with me, and all round being an incredible person. And so I think more people should be subscribed to her than currently are. I think you should all stop this video in about 2 minutes once we've finished and head on straight over there and subscribe to Sophie and chat to Sophie, because she is insightful, witty and brilliant, and that's all I have to say on the matter. Then I imagine I'm supposed to tag some people. So obviously we've got to include Sophie in there after we've just talked about her. We'll also include Emily of Novell Novels, Charlie of Charlie Brooke, Rachel of Rachel's Reading Corner, and Doris of All the Books. And Kate of Kate How. I just feel like there needs to be 6. Should there be more? Are there more people I'm currently watching? If I've forgotten you and we chat quite often, can you just remind me and I'll tag you? Because I'm not doing that old thing of going through my comments. I've got my fingers here now. Anyway, that's that tag done. It took me a lot longer than I anticipated, but I can't think of anything to say. So, I'm going to say that I hope you have enjoyed this video, and until next time, that is all.